Right, welcome to Pearl River. We will start from north. The strat is quite split, so can be a bit dangerous as you all have to micromanage kind of each group. But anyway, so you're sending 3 mid, basically take mid control like instantly. You sit here for like, I don't know, like when you get here, you sit here for like 5-10 seconds. See if you see anything. If you see nothing, you can basically instantly push around to like here and maybe around to here, depends on like where the enemy team is. If you have like a sniping medium tank, they can maybe stay here, and then you push 2 at least. But sometimes, like if you don't have great tanks, you can even push just 3 straight around, just behind them. Yeah, this is obviously if they're playing like full this side, like they're sending like 7 tanks this way. This has to be kind of like a nice 7 or something with speed. He is just driving like this, and he's coming to the near the cap. He's basically like a last resort if they try and YOLO cap. Um, so like you can get a reset. You might trade his health off just to get that one reset, so it gives your team time to get a reset. I would say if they are capping, um, you leave one in mid. He can come down. Like if you know how to come down this pretty safely, he can just get here and he should be able to farm it from this gap basically completely for free. As well as if they are capping, these tanks can also try and just hold this side now, from like very far positions back, like I don't know, something like this for now, if they are YOLOing the cap. Because they'll have like 3 here, and max they'll have 4. Probably they'll have 1 guy here, 3 topside, probably. Um, so yeah, your idea is these guys come behind this guy if there is a guy here. If not, they can just come down to like here to get more resets, and just slowly you should kill the people on the cap. If they are playing like full topside like this, kind of depends. You can keep your double tank like here, or triple tank back here maybe instead, and just hold it from like back here. This guy can just come around to this side of the rock, and he should be pretty safe. If they like full play this, and just sit here, and I don't know, maybe they put 1 guy into the cap, then again you should be fine because you have under control. So you can always reset the cap if you want to. If they just camp, I guess, then it's a bit more difficult because you can't. You'll just have to find a way of coming close without them just ruining you, basically. I mean, obviously you start with like taking all angles, and then slowly you probably just want to repressure this again, together as 6 of you and have a guy here. It's always nice to have a guy in middle just to bleed some health in the beginning, and then you start to get close and come under them and start dealing with them. Most of the time, I doubt they just sit here and do nothing, though. They'll have probably this control. You'll probably get a tank here for free, hopefully, as long as they don't see you coming, and they probably will repush when that happens. Okay, so yeah, like if that's kind of like the things I could do. I mean, the last one would be if they play like mid, I guess. Um, if they do play mid, like heavy mid, obviously more than you. Ideally, your setup is something like this climb. You do the climb here to get up to here, and these 2 tanks come all the way down to here. Need to sit here like this with these 2. You get as many as you want in the cap. Normally, it's about 2. Depends on obviously how much they have mid. If they literally have 6 tanks mid, you can probably put 3 into the cap. And you're normally fine because they'll just have to YOLO the cap because you'll instantly get this guy in the cap and you can join as well. So you can put 3 in the cap. But most people are like doing like, I don't know, a 4 mid strat with like 3 holding this. Again, it's the same thing. You just cap, but with only like 2, and probably 2 on the top side to like punish any repush happening from that side. Problem would be if they equal you. If they equal you in mid, like it's 3 versus 3, then you probably like again climb up with this, hold this though, and then come around here and try and like get at better angles, and you probably just hold this flank from like these good positions, while having this guy around here. It all depends if you can basically take the top side or not, like this area. If not, you take it. Or if they're not playing it, then you can take it. But if they are like quite heavily pushing that, then you're in like a bit of trouble. But I mean, normally if they equal you in mid, they equal you out wide, so you should be fine, and you should take aggressive on the 1-2. And then you just have a fight in the south, more than likely. And then your call on what you want to do with the guys in mid. Either they can hold there, or you can, kind of do this setup, and maybe these guys wrap all the way around. But it's very risky if they've taken mid. Yeah, that's it for this strat. Right, here is the second strat for north. Basically, you're full pushing this. Pretty simple, I think, for most people. Obviously, if you have like a TD or something, you can send them back here or here just to watch this cross. Hopefully you have a CS or something fast that can spot the cross for you, and there's like a little bush here. And if they decide to come and fight you, then you might just have a standstill, and then you decide how you want to break it. You might like have something like this, maybe. And you can have your double medium rotate, but obviously they might have a guy here that spots this rotation, and then yeah, you have a great time sitting at each other trying to shoot people's weak spot, basically. Yeah, that's kind of why I prefer doing a split, so I don't end up in this scenario. But this strat can work. If they are playing a split of some sort, you should put cap pressure on. Obviously, you need to be careful of them like taking the mid control and trying to shoot you, but you should be kind of safe if you like go here. Yeah, if they're doing a split, you probably want to bring a tank back at least, maybe two, because most likely they are going to try and push around you. But I mean, I guess it's up to you, but I would recommend like two tanks back, maybe one guy watching, this area, and the rest of your team can just sit here with maybe one in the cap, maybe two. That's up to you on how much you want in the cap. So yeah, you put cap pressure on. They're probably forced to come to find a position to reset. They might just come off the hill like this and come behind you, or they might drop a few people into this to try and get a reset. Hopefully you have these two able to shoot this. So you should get some like decent punish on them doing this. And yeah, you just kind of sit like this and see what they do with your cap pressure. No, as I said, most people will come close to the cap and try and get a reset from either here or come close from either side, and they'll just hold this from these two positions, and yeah, they'll just try and get a reset. Yeah, if they're YOLOing cap, obviously they'll probably see you. They probably will bring a tank to here to spot this cross early, and they'll probably just go into the cap with 3 and maybe play the rest here. Like, probably want to play the top side to get the resets. You might need to bring a guy close just for sacrifice, kind of. But you might want to send like one guy to go close to get that initial reset, so you have enough time to get like 1 or 2 people up here to shoot down and get the reset. So yeah, I mean, you should get some like decent punish on them. Obviously, you might be faster than them. You could also do the strat yourself, or just pushing into the gap with, like 3 tanks and the rest playing topside. But yeah, that is definitely up to you. Can work for sure. But yeah, I think that's it for this strat. Right, welcome to strat from north. This is just my 3 mid strat, though this time I have an LT that is spotting the mid, so I can see if they're coming K-line or not quicker. So we are just gonna push over the mid because there's nothing here, and if there is something here, we just catch him and kill him for free. I tell the 1-1B to sit on the balcony to get the resets on the cap if needed, though technically you could tell the LT to do that as well, because he's in basically the same position. Obviously, it's a lot less safe because, he's in the middle of the open, but you know, I think resets we should be fine on for now. As you can see, like I'm starting to get an angle on it. Very odd that they kept the Foch B here. Not many teams will do that at all. So obviously, me and the LT will just start working on it. I will get YOLO'd here. We've also taken the top side in the meantime because we spotted a lot of their team, so we know that we can take the top side. The one line off of them to get resets. This game will become quite close though, very soon. It is a bit chaotic in these scenarios when they are capping. If I didn't have an LT here, I'd have another actual battle tank or something that could come into the fight, and that would be playing north. So this game would be, I think, less close in that scenario. But gotta do what you gotta work with. I gotta. I don't even know how the expression goes. Fuck. Gotta work with what you're dealt with. There we go. That one. Anyway, so I will probably die here. Maybe I don't. No, I don't. No. Get the E5, and now it's a lot more in control now. After you get this control over the what would it be, the 4-line, 5-line. RS4 gets YOLO'd because he was the one getting the resets, but he trades off very well for his life, so not bad at all. And yeah, I mean the game is still not completely won, but we shouldn't be really throwing this at this point. Though I die is not very helpful. But yeah, now the game is over because we're 2 guns up now, so now we have a batch up that's reloaded. So yeah, I mean a somewhat confusing game. You gotta make sure you're pushing this and taking G1 or further if you can. Obviously because they pushed in the cap with I think 2, maybe 3. We took this. And if they play like up here, I think the 1-1B in mid can shoot it. So if they want to shoot you crossing, then at least you punish it as well. And as you can see, it's very kind, and he dies very quickly. Very kind of him. Anyway, on to the next replay. Right, here is the next replay from North. Again, this is just a very simple going mid with 3 and sending 4 heavies to the 1-2. But this time, obviously, I don't have a light tank, so you'll see it a bit different. Obviously, the enemy team will be slightly differing. Yeah, so I wait until about 9:20 for me to decide to push or not, just in case they have like some slow heavy tank that is coming mid. And yeah, now we just decide. Obviously, I'm pushing straight through. I'm not sending anything to mid, because because I mean there's nothing pressuring the cap, so there's no need to stay with anything in the ball or stay with anything in the mid. I mean we do. I think you saw like a very good punish on some of the 50Bs. I think David doesn't trade well. I think he gets tracked or perma tracked because I mean 50Bs they just get a track. So unlucky for him. It does look like they're repushing us here. Technically, you could say to the heavy tanks that you don't commit with the heavies here, because they're all on the K line. But I guess because they are quite lightly armored, that they just didn't want to push it. But yeah, now we just need to deal with the 50Bs if we can, if not the bad chat. That's being annoying as always. But yeah, we need to just get these kills before the rest of the team comes in, and yeah, there they are. So you do need to be careful when you are pushing close with this many, and that's kind of why you want something on E2 or something to cover you from behind, or maybe you just keep a guy in mid, and this becomes a lot easier. So maybe you do keep a guy in mid. But they did give us enough opportunities in the north to get some kills here. We capture the C5. Yeah, as well, it's like if David doesn't get caught here and stays, like here. He also can cover us, but you know, unfortunately he gets double tracked. So, I'm guessing that's what happened. I would imagine he's not just sitting in front of triple 50B. But yeah, and the lineup is very light. So like you know, after we get our heavy tanks into the actual game, um, the game is kind of over because they just can't take the hits like we can. But yeah, I mean, a somewhat close game. Definitely could have been a lot easier if we just probably kept the guy in mid, or maybe even kept our heavy tanks at the back. But then again, our heavy tanks wouldn't have been able to catch this guy. So it swings and roundabouts. So yeah, I mean, you could maybe make the play of like going here with all the heavy tanks, and if they play this play K line, they maybe just go under the ridge line, and you cover it with one guy in mid. And now it really depends on how much they have in cap. If they have nothing, then they should be completely safe, other than like over peaks. So you maybe keep like one here, and three go under, so this guy can cover, and then you take this with two, so they have no crossfire, and should be a GG, hopefully. So I'd have to test that. Right, the first strat from south is very similar to the north one, well, the exact same. Obviously you're sending your fast tanks here, your slow tanks here. Ideally you have, you know, 4 decently fast tanks. So you can put the guy here. You can either go under or topside. I prefer topside because you can go here and watch this cross. And you know, you spot this cross for your team to shoot at from your TD area as well as mid, I guess. And yeah, the basic strat is you go like this. If they're not playing mid, you know, they're playing full one line. You will then take your 2 tanks from mid and try and take this side of the map. So now they are stuck, kind of like this. Obviously, you have this guy here that watches the cross. And if they're just sitting here, you will probably then start to bring more, like one more tank under with maybe one more medium tank from the mid after you do some punish from like some shots. And then you probably should get enough angles where you can probably close up on this and maybe this at the same time. But it depends on how they're laid out. You know, if they're more like a lot here, then obviously they'll just dump this group, so you probably can't go close. You just try and hold the positions, the 3 of you in this, you know, triangle. They can't really push all the way out. You might want to put some cap pressure on as well. You could sit under the ridge here with like one of your tanks, maybe this guy. Sits under here, and then I don't know, you could have like double tank in the cap as well, like looking up, double medium tank here. And if they want to peek on this guy that's getting all the cap points, you know, they're peeking into double heavy tank. Maybe they're giving, I mean, if they're peeking here or here, they're giving shots to your mediums or heavy tanks. And you should slowly cap them out and force them to kind of dump over, and hopefully you trade well for that. A lot of teams might go back or to stop your tanks going back. Wait a sec. There we go. So, you know, they might see you guys, these 2 tanks coming close, and decide to go back and just hold this area. You will then send like one of your heavy tanks from the sniping nest to go under like this. You bring this guy, you then have 4 pushing this, and hopefully you should win that because this guy should have stopped them from being able to play here, and you would have slowly killed them with the 4 of you. Obviously, they might push this, but again, you have 3 tanks and very good crossfire. It's very hard, in which case you'll pick up these guns. If there's nothing here, then obviously you don't need to do that. You know, if they're heavy mid, again, you're doing the climb. If you don't know the climb, I would recommend starting to know it. But yeah, it's basically the same thing. You put double tank under the hill. 1 tank goes up here. You then put, you know, 2 in the cap and 2 play topside, and you start capping and force them to do something. Obviously, this is a lot more risky than playing here because you know, this whole area sees you. But I mean, you could even play like here, I guess, technically, but you just don't want to get caught when they YOLO that, or if they YOLO like this. So maybe if your medium to tank can run all the way back to here so he can snipe, that it is very good if you could do that, and then your heavy tank can just stay somewhere around here, you know? I mean, you could maybe go here. I don't know if that's... I think that should be safe, actually, from this location. Only this isn't safe, but if they're sitting here, you should be able to crossfire them from, like, here and here. So you should be fine. So I guess this is safe. And you have this guy here. You have a guy sniping to help this guy so they can't just YOLO him. And yeah, very, very nice. Right, here is the next strat. It's very similar, well, basically the same as the North strat. This map is very symmetrical. That's the word I was looking for. So, I mean, like, I just want to keep it simple as well for one strat. You know, you're just playing the one line. You're most likely taking this position with like two. You're probably playing this with like most of the rest of your team. You know, if they decide to like push you, then you should just destroy them from crossfire. If it turns into a stalemate, again, you just need to try and break that somehow. It depends on how much they've got here. If they've got a lot, you can probably drop a tank into the cap and sit with the rest. Maybe even this guy comes in for the cap. It really depends to make sure that all of their team is here. If like they have two out still, they could flank, you know, under and kill this guy in the cap. So it depends. Though if they have two out, you might want to think about pushing aside. But it really depends on how the trade goes and what tanks you have. I would only do this if you have like decently fast tanks. If you have more slower tanks, I would probably more likely do the split of, you know, like 4 here and 3 here, because it just works a bit better. And like crossing this in slow tanks is not fun if they're just gonna pre-aim you. So yeah, I'd probably recommend doing this if you have like a fast setup. Though you could also do the other setup. Yeah, you could do the other opener also if you have a fast loadout. But yeah, if they come full top, you fight. It's a stalemate for a bit. If you can put a guy into the cap, if they're all here, then do it. If they're doing the split again, you put some people into the cap, probably 3, and then sit here with the rest of the heavy tanks and a tank here, and you just see what they do. Most likely they will try and get a spot in the mid, and they might pressure this to kill this guy. But yeah, I mean you might reinforce this. It depends on if this guy sees it or not. Yeah, if they're yellowing cap, then like if you're playing with fast tanks, then you can either shoot them and then go up, or just go to the straight to the ball and fight. Um, yeah, very much up to you. Right, here is a replay from South. Speed it up a little bit to get into the fight. This is just the strat showed of 3 mid. The rest going K-line. Obviously, we have a light tank, so you know the argument could be made you send your light tank mid, but I think getting the light tank to go K-line makes it so I can see if they're coming K-line quicker than mid. And yeah, very nicely, this SDB obviously thought that there was not a lot in mid. I think he only saw one tank, so he pushed it, but he went into 3, so he dealt a lot of damage on him, which was very nice. Obviously now we get a guy in the cap now, we take top side, and now we're in a very good position now. Anyone is interesting. But yeah, I mean, he can't really do much to reset. KK as well. Very odd. Very odd setup. Be a double German heavy and a Fosh B, but you know, I guess it works. But yeah, now we can send the Caro and E50M under to get the shots on the E100 and VKK. Like the Hurricane, sorry, should be probably climbing the ridgeline to get up to the the position that in that TVP is basically in. I think he actually was, but now he's come back because he's fighting a TVP. But you know, if I had enough warning, you could probably fight that TVP and it'd be fine. But yeah, I mean, going under here is very weird for the enemy team. They just get crossfired the fuck from our Caro and stuff. And now David in the cap can now just kill a C100 as long as he pens his shots. I mean, Moth can also come help in the Sheridan. So the game is pretty won, I would say now. So yeah, now we just wait for the E100 to die, and I'll just cover my my team in the mid. Fortunately, we lose Holmes there, but do tend to lose some tanks in maneuvers in every game. So what are you gonna do? But I punish him back for 2 shots, so definitely not a bad trade. But as you can see, the health is now 4k up for us. We basically won. Obviously, because we want quick games, I'm sending more people to the cap. As always in maneuvers, you want quick games so you get more points per the 2 hours. So you should always be focusing on what gives you the quickest win. And I thought capping in this case would be the best because they're just going to sit in mid and do nothing. So because they want that extra kill to get the points, but really they should just be YOLOing the Caro and E50M to get the kills. There you go. Nice little roll there. But yeah, there you go. Going to die. I think we shouldn't kill them now because you extend the game by 5 seconds. Though technically, I guess we should have killed the TVP so he doesn't auto-load, but well, it's fine. We have enough tanks. So yeah, anyway, nice game. Right, here is another replay from South. Again, this is just the 3 fast tanks mid, and the slower tanks towards the K line. Again, we are just waiting for a bit to see if there's anything coming. We see, 3 tanks mid. Obviously, they're going to be playing. Most likely, they're going to be playing heavy mid themselves. We ran away, not to be caught. F260 might just come in, maybe. I mean, technically, I should be with the CS right now, so I don't get caught here. But technically, it's still fine. When you see that 3 middle, you're probably thinking there might be more, especially when you saw how aggressively they were playing. So I kept my tanks in K5 in this point. Meep is doing very good going around the hill or around the rock to survive, and they pushed in with 3 tanks into basically 1, and they don't even kill him. So very very good there. Bad job for me, however. We do lose a lot of health there. David's a 1-shot now. Meeps is 800, but you definitely take that trade every day of the week. And yeah, now we kill the 260. So they did push in 3 tanks for not even the tank they were trying to kill. And now the CS obviously wanted to kill because the game is over, so dumps in to try and get it, and he dies as well. And yeah, the game is basically won straight away. Technically, I think it would have been better if I ran to the Hurricane and then pressured back up to where I was to then shoot the heavy tanks in the back. But it did work pretty well. And if they commit on me, then I mean they kill me, but maybe they're even in a worse position. Sorry if you heard the team's notification. Yeah, I mean game is over. Let me just fast forward this. I mean they had a 60 DP in a Hurricane, be completely useless. From this game. Yeah, nice game. We'll cap it out. Lovely.